If somehow I could go back in time and sit down with myself right before I started high school, what would I tell myself? And that's the topic of today's video. And I want you to stick around because number six is something you're not going to believe. Chandler. All right, so let's set this up. So I'm thinking that if I'm going to go back in time, I'm going to go back just prior to high school and catch myself, right? And be able to sit down with me and have that conversation. Now, I don't drink coffee way back before high school, and so we're probably not going to sit down and have a coffee. We probably would go to the McDonald's and have a Big Mac and a vanilla shake. That's probably what we would do. We would sit there and then have a conversation. So there's like 6 things that I would probably tell myself. And to start off, what I would tell myself is, you know what, Robert, you're going to have a great life. Just relax. You're going to have a great life and you're going to live a long life. But there are some things that you might want to work on to help make your life even that much better. And to start, here's what I'll say. Stop messing around in high school and listen to what the teachers are telling you and try to learn. All right? You got to learn. You got to break that habit of not caring about the academic portion of school. You're great at sports, but the academics is important and it's going to help you further down the line. So get in gear, start focusing, figure it out, start learning what they're teaching you. You know, I hear that and I say that because, you know, I think back in my early days in high school, it was never about academics, right? It was always, for me, I played sports, and for me it was, you know, have fun, play sports, have fun. I went to every class because that's where everybody was, and so you would have fun with everybody. But, you know, I wouldn't study, I wouldn't bring books home, I wouldn't do homework. I would just try to do as much as I could to get by. And I got by, obviously, because I graduated from high school, but I didn't apply myself. And I think that's where I went wrong. And then the second thing that I would tell myself, you know what, you have the ability to be whatever you want to be, right? So dream big. And I think that applies to, you know, everybody in life. Everybody at that stage of life, when you're just entering high school, you can be whatever you want to be, as long as you apply yourself. Or even today, you think about it today, you know, trying to be a YouTube creator or trying to get a degree or trying to get a promotion. If you want it, it's there for your taking. You just have to apply yourself and have the passion to go out and get it. So another thing that I would probably add on, I would say, you know what, setting goals are great, but really, Robert, what's going to be most important to you is the journey. The journey is what really matters. You need to live life, have fun, laugh, love, do all those things, because if you live a life where it's miserable, you're just not going to enjoy it, right? It's not worth it if you're miserable every day. So live life to the fullest, right? Set goals, work towards getting those goals, but have fun along the way. Have fun along the way and enjoy the journey. Now, the second thing that I would probably tell myself, I would say, hey, you know what? You're going to join the Army. You're going to have a career in the Army. You're going to do over 20 years. So if you're going to do over 20 years and have a career in the military, you might as well be an officer. So think about officer candidate school, because you're probably not going to go to college right away. But think about OCS, officer candidate school. Become an officer. Why? They get paid more. And if they get paid more and your retirement's going to be that much more. 2, they're respected a whole lot more than the enlisted folks, right? And they do a lot less than enlisted folks. If you think about who digs a foxhole, you know, your commander or your platoon leader, they're not digging no foxhole, someone's digging it for them. So think about that. I want you to become an officer in the military, but you're going to have a great military career. no matter what, enjoy that. So the third thing I would tell myself is that, you know what? And you probably already know this, you're going to get married. At some point in your life, you're going to get married. Be patient, right? Take your time, find the right person. When you find the right person, you'll know. And once you find the right person and you get married, remember this, it's death do us part, meaning that that person is going to be your wife forever. And I do mean forever, all right? There's no getting a divorce. There's no getting a separation. There's no splitting apart. You got to figure it out once you get there, right? Once you get married. So take your time, find the right person, and get married. And then once you do that, make her your priority. Make her your priority. Nothing in this world would matter more than her. The whole reason why you got married is because you're going to fall in love with this person. You're going to want her in your life. So if you're in love and you want her in your life, make her a priority. So I think back to, when I got married, my wife was 21, I was 29. We got married. I was still in the military. I was at E7. And we just got caught up in life. We were still having a lot of fun. And I don't think I appreciated her as much as I should. I know I didn't make her the priority in my life, especially as we continued to go on. And just to say, I'm still married to the same woman for 37 years now. But she wasn't the priority because I made other things a bigger priority. Why? I don't know. It might be just something that men do. I have no idea why that is. But, in retirement, when you're able to sit back and think about that, you ask yourself, why was work more important than her? What did work ever do for you? What did that job ever do for you that your wife didn't, right? And then the fourth thing that I would tell myself is that, you know what? From that marriage, you're going to have kids. You're going to have a boy and a girl. You're going to have a daughter and a son. Can you imagine that? You, Robert, having a daughter and a son. Here's what I'll tell you about those two. They're precious. Hug them as many times as you can, right? You're going to be in love with them, and you're going to be a great dad, and you're going to do great things with them. And they're going to turn out great as well. But there's opportunities for them to be even better than just great. So I want you to be there for them. And when I say be there for them, just like when I talked about my wife being a priority, your kids are a priority too. I want you to be there for them, and support them no matter what. I think back in my work life, and so many times I put work above them. Why? Again, I don't know. There's just something about people where, we feel that when we go to work, we have to show our bosses that work is more important, and we're willing to sacrifice our families over work because we're looking for something from all that. And I don't know what it is, but you never get it. That's not where you get validation for being a good worker. Now, you can get validation for being a good husband, a good father, and that will continue on throughout your life. But validation for a great worker, that always doesn't come because at some point you're going to part ways with that company. You're going to part ways with that manager, and they'll never think about you again. But your kids and your wife, they're going to be there for your whole life. And with your kids, show them how to become good adults. The only way that they're going to become good, respected, great adults is if you show them how, by example. Right? So they will follow however you're leading them. And so always want to live that life of follow by example, of leading by example. And nothing is more important than you showing them how to be young adults, right? It's so important. And how do they learn? They learn by watching you. They see what you do. right? If you lie, if you cheat, if you do things wrong, that's how they're going to turn out. So you don't want to be that example for them. You want to be just the opposite. You want to be that person that has morals, right? Someone look up to you and say, "I want to be like my dad because he's always honest, he's hardworking, he's always there for us when we need him, when we call, he's there." And I think back in my life when my kids were young. I was still in the military, and so I was always gone. I was deployed somewhere. I think one time I was deployed to Bosnia for like 15 months. I went to Iraq. I went to Afghanistan, um, and so I was always out of their life, and I missed so much. Even though they were able to film those games, the sport games that they played, and all that, that's not the same like having your dad in the stands cheering you on. I remember my daughter saying once that, yeah, you know what? The only time I shot a 3-point shot and you weren't there. Yeah, so those things kind of hit your heart, right? They hit your heart because where were you? Well, you were somewhere else with work, doing something that you probably could have avoided. You probably could have not done. And so that's why I'm telling myself, you know, uh, uh, in life, your kids are so precious. You want to support them 100%. I think nowadays, men, I don't know about the women, but men will always not avoid, void is probably the wrong word, but men will always choose work over their kids' basketball game, their kids' play, their kids' whatever it is they're doing, because we think that what we're doing at work is more important than them. And it never is. The fifth thing that I would tell myself is say, hey, when you retire and you get out and you start your first job, don't be a rebel. And I say that because, I think back into my times when I first got out of the military. Yeah, I was always arguing or fighting against the system, fighting against the management team, the leadership, because I didn't think they were doing things right. I think back now, it's like, who am I to doubt that? Who am I to doubt what they're doing? Why couldn't I just go along to try to understand what they were doing to make things better that way? Because that always leads you down the wrong road. It leads you down to where as soon as they do a reduction in force, who they want to let go? Well, the guy that's always arguing with you, right? So I would tell myself, don't be a rebel. And then the last thing that I would say simply is, and I'll say, Robert, if you didn't listen to anything else or adhere to anything else, I want you to adhere to this. When you buy Facebook, do not sell the stock. This is Chandler's Retirement Live. It's a good live. Subscribe.